Greetings, folks. Eler here. All of the content that you're watching is courtesy of Lynn Wilkie, who has had a number of his replays featured on the channel before. And a couple of weeks ago, Lynn had a single, very successful evening of Clan Brawl playing exclusively the Großer Kurfürst, the German Tier 10 battleship. So Lynn shared a plethora of replays with me. I've picked out a lot of good highlights for the montage that you watched at the start of this video. I've picked out a couple of the replays to feature here that go very quickly once action gets started. And then I have a montage of additional highlights at the end of the video as well. And all of this fits very nicely into the time of a single traditional random battle. So these matches go really quickly. Now, Lynn's results from this first match are very strong, but the second one is even better, and so I certainly hope you're going to enjoy this. Now, Lynn's build for the Großer Kurfürst, he uses the 420mm rifles, he has the legendary upgrade, and he uses a blended secondary survivability build. Now, for some matches during the night, he would use the secondary guns modification 1 upgrade in slot 2, and for some other battles, he used the aiming systems modification 1 upgrade. And he's also prefers to take fire prevention over the manual secondary skill. And you would think that by not sort of improving the quality of his secondary build, that would have some negative impact. And it didn't really, because these battles tend to be very close engagement where having the additional accuracy of the secondaries doesn't buy you a whole lot, and you're going to see that he racks up quite a few secondary hits and gets some very good production out of his secondaries. So sit back. I hope you enjoy this as Lynn is heading into the mouth of the channel for Two Brothers. So you'll notice that this match, we're already well past 10 minutes into the game. Basically, nothing's been happening. This is very typical, especially on Two Brothers. The teams tend to be in a long standoff. And now Lynn and his team have decided to make the move because the teams are literally just sitting around, not doing too much. They even had banter and chat about asking about the weather on each side of the map and so forth. So clearly the teams are a little bit frustrated by the lack of progress. But Lynn's team is going to make the move here. Now, Lynn's biggest threat is actually the Daring. It's not the Kremlin, and it's not the Des Moines. It's the torpedoes from the Daring that are going to be the biggest risk. So he's going to poke his nose forward here first. They can clearly see where all the ships are, so he can take the lead as the battleship. And it's clear that the Daring is now going to set up for a torpedo drop. And let's see, they're going to here they come. So Lynn, when he saw that he knew the torpedoes were coming, he fully expected to take a couple of them, but he doesn't end up taking any. In fact, they probably scraped some of the paint on his hull. But now Lynn is complete control and domination of the situation because his main threat of the Daring has been, of the torpedoes has been eliminated, and he can just march right on in here and do the German battleship thing and just wreck phase. So he's already chunked out the Daring. His allied Z-52 takes the Daring out, and now his next focus is going to be the Kremlin and the Des Moines. He's going to keep his bow on the Kremlin for as long as he needs to. Kremlin, even though it has very good guns and very high caliber, is going to have a lot of difficulty trying to get a decent hit if Lynn keeps his bow on the Kremlin. So his next salvo here is going to go out to the Kremlin. And you're going to see he's going to land a Citadel here. The Kremlin has been very popular in clan brawls, or was earlier. But it's not really a good ship in a close drive-by situation. Lynn finishes off the Des Moines with his back guns, and now all he has to do is worry about the Kremlin. So coming back to the Kremlin, Kremlin is a really strong ship, plays really well in random battles, but in these very close engagements, where often there are these sort of drive-by situations, the Kremlin has a very exposed citadel, and the Großer Kurfürst has sort of the ideal armor situation with the turtleback, is largely immune, not 100%, but 95% immune to citadel hits in close quarters like this, even when broadside. And so he's going to come in here with the next salvo and finish off the Kremlin and win the game for his team. So gets the next salvo out, gets 3 citadels, finishes off 145,000 in just a matter of a few minutes, and takes down the team. He gets 126 secondary hits. I think he did a little over 20,000 in secondary damage. I'm not going to share the leaderboard or the credit results because they tend to be very flat or very static. for these clan brawls. All the winners get the same XP, all the losers get the same XP, and the earnings are largely the same. Now we move on to another battle that he had. Again, this is all in the same evening. This is also on Two Brothers, and again, there's sort of this long standoff. Now, in this particular case, the Lin in the previous match, Lin had the secondary guns modification 1 upgrade to extend the range and accuracy of his secondaries. In this battle, he has the aiming systems. Again, this is going to be another really good battle. In this case, the opposing team is actually going to make the move to push into the channel. So we're going to start with the Stalingrad, and then at some point the Daring is going to poke out as well. Get the Allied Z52. They can keep the channel lit with his Hydro and stay in smoke for a little while. Obviously, the risk here is the Stalingrad with the radar. I don't remember at this point. I think that since we're already many minutes into the battle time, I expect the Stalingrad had already used radar, and both teams knew exactly where each other were. It's just a matter of who blinks first. Some argument may be to be made that Two Brothers is not the ideal map for Clan Brawl, because trying to go around the two large islands takes you out of the game for too long, and really the only choice is to work the center channel. That would be my expectation. So here comes the opposing Kurfürst as well. The Daring again has stuck his nose out, probably to try to see if he can get some torpedoes off, deny the channel, but he's now backed up. Lin is just going to stay here for a while as kind of a stationary artillery platform, basically discouraging the opposing team from pushing through further. Now, one other thing I should note here is that this is an updated epicenter mode, so each ring is controlled separately, and the point gain is very quick as teams take rings. The point increment is very fast, so there's a lot of urgency for teams to make sure that they deny the rings from the opposing team, or at least contest them. The Allied Z52 here is trying to make a sort of a suicide torpedo run. He is going to get taken out, but Lin is going to be able to get another salvo off on the Daring, and he is going to finish off the Daring right here. And that means that both teams have lost their destroyer. So it's now Lin and his allied Moskva against the Stalingrad. I'm assuming the Stalingrad had Hydro running there, obviously, to detect torpedoes from the Daring, which never eventually showed up. Lin is, again, just looking to stay here for a little bit longer and engage in sort of kind of a stationary artillery platform, but now he's got to get moving because the opposing Kurfürst and the Stalingrad have now pushed through to the other side of the channel. And Lin's got to sort of be the absorber of hits here for his team, although I think both the opposing Stalingrad and the Kurfürst are likely targeting the Moskva because he's the easier target to take down more quickly. Lin's going to get another salvo off here right on the nose of the Stalingrad, take out most of the remainder of its health, and then I think his secondary does finish off the Stalingrad. Yes, it does. And I should note here that in Clan Brawl, you cannot earn any achievements. So you don't earn First Blood, Close Quarters, High Caliber. Well, there's not enough ships to earn High Caliber or Confederate. So there's no achievements you earn from these. But the main rewards you get are from like steel and coal and other high-value resources for games played. Now you notice that Lin fired into the upper belt of the opposing Kurfürst. That's very typical. That when somebody is engaging a German battleship, especially in close quarters, to aim for, especially like heavy cruisers as well, to aim for the upper belt, because the upper belt can be more easily penetrated, and it sits above the turtle back, so you're essentially guaranteed to get pens. You're not going to be able to get, generally at this range, you're generally not going to be able to get Citadel hits. Unless you were to like get some sort of lucky shot through a barbette or something. The Allied Moskva is taken down, so it's just Lin against this other Kurfürst. They have similar health levels, and this is just going to turn into sort of a really traditional brawl where they're just looking to vie for angling. Lin takes a little more damage, able to mitigate a lot of it through some good angling. And then he's going to slip behind this island to try to finish getting his heal in, and then get another angle on the opposing Kurfürst. Now, what's I find hilarious here is that the opposing Kurfürst has used his hydro, and now Lin uses his. So this is sort of a poor man's radar, if you will, that lasts for considerably longer than a traditional radar, to keep each other detected as they sort of do this dance around this island. So Lin's team has control of only one ring now. The opposing team has control of two. So it might be possible in a situation like this for an opposing team to win by just sort of attrition of retaining points or gaining points. But these ships are low enough in health that this game is going to be decided based on sinking each other. There are occasionally matches where a team will lose or win, I should say, because they get to 1,000 points by getting enough rings or caps. And again, the point progress in these clan brawls tend to be very quick. And so it's not quite as elongated as you see with random battles. And so the idea is to try to have the games go very, very quickly. And this is part of the reason that Lin was able to play, I think he said 28 games in one single evening. That's how fast that a lot of these battles go. He's going to get another shot off here, and now I think Lin is going to make a turn since the opposing Kurfürst has already committed his shot, and so Lin wants to be able to angle away. It's going to get a shot in here on the back turrets, get a couple more pens, or a little more chip damage in. But Lin is going to win this match. He's going to get off one more salvo here, win the game for the team. Actually, it's not that one. It's the next one. And he's going to rack up almost 200,000 in damage. Now, keep in mind, this is a 3-on-3 battle. So that's a lot of damage to produce with so few ships involved. So I'm going to leave the results up for you to take a look at. Again, Lin, great job. Thank you very much for sharing with this, and we're going to end the video with a montage set to hopefully some upbeat music of additional highlights from Lin's evening playing the Großer Kurfürst in Clan Brawl. So I certainly hope you enjoy. Please leave your comments below, and as always, we hope to see you out there, and we wish you happy sailing.